Hello y'all, this is Make America Again, a Hearts of Iron 4 mod that is set in a world where in 2021 Donald Trump refused to concede the US presidency and thus Joe Biden established a rival government. While this chaos was happening, many other groups seized their best chance at victory and rose up to take over different parts of the USA. We are on the select country screen, and all of the states featured here have their very own focus trees, I believe, and what I'm going to do is just run through each of them going from left to right. And let's start with the Pacific Fleet. Then there is the Cascadian Provisional Government. Then we have the People's Republic of America led by Bernie Sanders, Montana, the Western Command Zone, Utah, the Bandit Territory, Molossia, the Hopi, Liberty, and to finish off our lineup, there is Area 51. I have played this mod before, but it's been some time since I've done that, and let's go over a few different features for Make America Again. First off, it takes place, it starts in April 2021, April 2nd, 12 o'clock to be specific. And let's go to the decisions and just see those real quick. So we're playing as Molossia, and I'm just going to skim through the exclusive decisions here, like the internal situation, the refugee situation, the Hawthorne Army Depot. Okay, there we go. Modern political discourse. I think all countries have this, and what this basically does is you can use political power to switch to, just increase the popularity of different ideologies, which I'll go over in a minute. Then we have military high command that affects different EXP for Navy, Army, and the Air Force. Air EXP. Then we have American Arms Race, and that's a way to get equipment, I think, and also get some manpower. And some interesting mechanics in this mod is the fact you can hire mercenaries, which are kind of like, say, they're basically temporary divisions. You can hire them with political power, and they'll come and help you for like a year. Then once the contract is up, you can choose to renew it, or they'll stop fighting for you and just disappear. I believe that's how that works. Then you have the black market. Here you can buy resources, which is neat. Then you have regarding our legitimacy. I'm not sure what this really does, but it is a thing that's there. Then you have American reunification at the bottom. And with that looked at, let's go over the ideologies. And we have, say, Republican, Democrat, Autocratic, Libertarian right, Libertarian left, and Authoritarian left. And it should be noted this mod has it has, say, a few sub-ideologies for the different ideologies as a whole. For like example, for Libertarian right, there is libertarianism, but there's also, say, populist conservatism, as can be seen here. And then for, say, Republican ideology, there is conservative, then there is Trumpite, and also I think, for Democrat there is, there is stuff like establishment and progressive. And that's just a little look at the sub-ideologies in Make America Again. And let's go to the research tree. And here we can tell it's basically like vanilla HOI4, but it's been modified a little bit to feature more modern tech, like, say, mobile infantry is trucks. It's Ford F-150s now. Then we have armored Toyota Corollas, also for mobile infantry. Special forces is about the same. Support equipment seems essentially the same. Then for armor, for support equipment, big rigs are trains now. And what kind of railway gun is this? It's using the railway artillery model, but that's just such interesting GFX there. Then for armor, seems about the same, more or less, but there is killdozers as the most basic armored vehicles essentially. And I am playing this on artillery is about the same, and I am playing this on No Step Back, which is the HOI4 expansion before By Blood Alone, because this mod has not been updated to the latest version of Hearts of Iron 4 yet, which is unfortunate. Hopefully it does get updated. But we also have Navy. Navy's the same as vanilla HOI4. Air,
is what air would look like in HOI4, well, in vanilla HOI4 without Say By Blood alone. Then there's engineering, seems the same. Industry is also the same. Okay, and that's all of the stuff like ideologies, decisions, and research, just technology in general. Now I'm going to go over all the countries in this mod, and like I said before, I have played this in the past, and I have done a few videos on this mod. In fact, I believe I've done at least 5, and some things have changed in terms of the map. And say, well, we had the Pacific Fleet, they're up in Alaska, and also Hawaii. We'll start with them. They are fighting the Pacific States of America. There's Canada, which is led by Justin Trudeau, and it's part of NATO, which consists of themselves. Well, it consists of Canada, the British Overseas Territories, the French Overseas Territories, the Netherlands, and the British Expeditionary Forces. And the thing about Canada in Make America again is both it and Mexico eventually at some point in while you're playing MAA, they will collapse and fall apart into like a civil war, and just basically they'll copy the USA in a way by having their own internal issues, and just that will be a thing that will happen. And then down south of Mexico we have Guatemala, Belize, Honduras, El Salvador, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, who has a lot of national spirits, Colombia, and Venezuela. And then we have here Trinidad and Tobago, however you say that. There's the French Overseas Territories, and we're getting more into the Caribbean now, and the West Indies as they could be called, or they were formerly called perhaps. So here's the French Overseas Territories. Then there's the British Expeditionary Forces. Then we have Puerto Rico, which has been taken over by the United Nations. There is the Dominican Republic, Haiti, Cuba, Jamaica, Dart Enterprises, who are just like here for some reason. What is this island called? This is Grand Cayman. They're on the Grand Cayman Islands. Then north of Cuba we have the Bahamas. And now let's get into the USA. So we'll start over in the northeastern part of the former United States. We have the Wabanaki Confederacy. There is Resistance Radio, who used to have a focus tree, I think, but it may have been removed. There is the Southern Maine Federal Territory, Republic the Arcady, however you say it, New Albion. Here is the Federal Republic of America, which is led by Joe Biden, and it is the leader of the Legitimist faction, which consists of the Federal Republic of America, Virginia, and the Southern Maine Federal Territory. Then going south of them, you have the Compound, led by Tim Pool. There is Corporationist West Virginia, the American Free State, led by Vermin Supreme, the Chicken Farm, which may have used to have a focus tree, but it got gutted possibly. Then there is the Confederate States of America, led by Kanye West, and this is before Kanye West, he made graduation phase. I'll just leave it at that. Then south of the CSA, there is Florida, led by Barron Trump, the son of Donald Trump, or one of his sons, his youngest one. And this country did have a focus tree, but like with Kentucky, I believe it was removed for whatever reason. Maybe it wasn't complete, I don't know. Then going over to, say, west of the Chicken Farm and the American Free State is the National Protection Alliance, led by Mike Pence with a beard, and they are fighting the United States of America and the Islamic State of America, which is centered out of Chicago. That's where their headquarters are. And the Islamic State of America is fighting the Great Lakes Autonomous Region. It's a libertarian state, and they lead a faction called the Constitutionalist. Then we have places like Detroit, which is their own country. They're guaranteed their independence by Canada. Then there is the Wisconsin Free State. This used to be, I think, in older versions of this mod, Kamalist Wisconsin, which had, I think, Dr. Oz as its leader, and that was removed at some point in this mod's development, I think. Then going over into like Minnesota, we have the Ice Legion, the Northern Republic, and Green Minnesota. Getting more into the Midwest now, we have the United States of America, led by Donald Trump, and he leads a faction called the Loyalist, which is consisting of Area 51, Resistance Radio, Utah, and the United States of America. Then south of that is the Second Texan Republic, and like Kentucky and Florida, they did have a focus tree, but it was removed. It's led by Greg Abbott, and in the past, I think its starting leader used to be Ted Cruz. We're getting more into the American Southwest now. So here we have countries such as Hammer City, the Bandit Territory, Hopi, Navajo, and Tohono, and those last three countries are essentially Native American states. Then going more to the west, we have Utah. There is Area 51, Molossia, the micronation that isn't so micro in this timeline. Then going north, we have the Western Command Zone and Montana, and west of Montana there is Liberty and the Cascadian Provisional Government. And to get on our last leg of our little world tour, we have the Nevadan Free Army, Oroville, and finally the People's Republic of America, which when you start the mod is fighting like 4 different wars. And this has been Make America Again. If you like this mod, you can check it out in the video description. A link to it is there. I hope it gets updated one day, honestly. And besides that, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.